I need you. I'll keep you strong, I know, but I'll be scared to show myself. Don't let me go.
What's up, y'all? It's the Young Avell here, back at it with another video. Welcome to the Sunday sermon. Oh man, we got a good one here today. You know, I love those kind of topics where you're going about living your life and then you and your boys have an immaculate conversation and you're like, you know what? I got to share this. I got to share this with the people because it's very pertinent. It's very powerful. And today we're going to be talking about why it's important that you as a man tackle and come to terms with this energy inside you called lust. Because if you do not conquer it, it will be used against you. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Trust me, I was an officer, I know. But I was a secret agent because I was spiritual. So, me and my boys were having a conversation and we were talking about how a lot of men are afflicted by lust and how they are unable to cope with and overcome the lust that they encounter on a daily basis in their world, whether it come from the screen, whether it come from just temptation in general. They are subjugated to that, right? And so when a man gives into that lust or that lust goes unchecked, he leaves a vacuum of power, right? Because that power is now being given to something else. So he's essentially giving up his power to whatever it is that's making him engage in those lustful activities, right? So boom, we were talking about how the powers that be use that power, use that lust in order to raise themselves up to higher and higher positions of power and influence. Because we saw this meme. He sent me this meme that was basically like, you'll never go broke if you cater to these things related to human interests or something like that. And one of them was the lust of a man. The other one was like the beauty of a woman. So it was things like that where they're playing on human tendencies. And if you are unaware of this, you will just go along as a consumer, as a victim, almost as like a battery where they are using you to establish their power. So we were talking about that, and it was interesting because I started to think like, what now happens when a man chooses to attack that lust in terms of overcome it, right? Because we did have that question, like, is it possible to ever overcome lust? Is that something that you can overcome? Because we see 70-year-olds and 80-year-olds that are still afflicted by watching the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like watching the screen and having to fap it away, you know? And we came to the conclusion that, man, I don't think that energy of lust will leave your body. Like, it will leave you for as long as you're in a human body as a man and you have testosterone in you, you probably will feel the fluctuations of lust. But we have to control it. We got to get on top of it. We got to stay on top of it, because if we don't, you become like how Neo, just when he woke up out of the Matrix and he saw that there were all these other pods that were essentially humans that were getting used as batteries. You are just getting used for your energy, because you are easy to manipulate. And lust is an offshoot of sexual energy, and your sexual energy is like your most powerful energy as a creative being, you know? So if the powers that be can get you to, if they can manipulate that energy within you, they can essentially manipulate the most powerful creative force that exists within you. And if they can do that without you knowing that they're doing that, they can run any type of operation that they want, because you are fueling that with the most powerful energy that you have. And so I started to think like, what will happen if you start to control that lust, if you start to get on top of that? It's almost like now, instead of them operating in that power seat that's above lust, because It's power, then lust. That's the visualization in terms of the hierarchy that was assembling as we were talking about this conversation. So picture a hierarchy, and at the top there's raw power, and then below that there is lust, right? So if this goes unchecked, it's like that power is using the lust to then manipulate whatever it wants. But if you're able to control that lust, you now get catapulted up into that original seat. You get catapulted into that original seat where the power is, because you're not operating on the lustful side. You are not being moved by this secondary layer. You are now on the original layer. And the powers that be don't want that. They don't want that. So that's why it was interesting when we saw that meme, like, you'll never go broke as a business person if you cater to these certain things. And the top one was the lust of a man. And we see it. We see it. All these women are making so much money on OnlyFans. And that is a raw representation of the power of lust, of how when it goes unchecked, it can just run amok. It can run amok. So, but the important thing about this dialogue is this, and I want to harp on this, because if you overcome lust, you now get lifted up to that seat of power that the powers that be were previously at. So it's like now you cannot be as easily influenced by them, which you see they don't like that, but who cares what they like? This is our world. This is our life. This is our energy. So now that we're at the top, we're at the power seat, we can now manipulate our reality the way that we want. Because remember, lust is just sexual energy. Your sexual energy is your creative energy, your creative life force. So now you use that, your power, to manipulate your life force, your creative energy, to create the life that you want. The life that you want, not the life that they want for you, because they're just looking to prop up the realities that they want, and they want to use your energy to lift up their agendas. But when a man is able to overcome lust, he jumps it back into that original power seat, and now he can create the life that he wants. Not to mention, if a group of men do that together, dude, and that is why I share what I share. That is why it's important for you to join me on this quest of maximizing the highest version of yourself, for real. Like, seriously, you need to get on that journey no matter how long it takes. And this battle, it will probably never stop. But guess what? Along the way, you will get better at and better. As long as you stick to it, you'll get better at overcoming these urges and overcoming the lust, to the point where you're going to be like, yo, this is my lifestyle. And me saying that this is my lifestyle is me saying that me using my power to create the reality and life that I want is my natural way of being. And that's what we want. That's what we want. So I thought that was a very pertinent conversation that we had. And I wanted to share with you guys that when you're talking about men and how easy it is to manipulate us, imagine a hierarchy, and imagine the top of this hierarchy is power, and below that is lust. And if the lust goes unchecked, the power will use the lust to do its little biddings. But those men that are able to control the lust, they now jump into that power seat, and they can do as they wish with that power, because it's your power. It's your power. You need to be conscious of how to use it, and you need to use it at your own discretion. You shouldn't be manipulated by society or the powers that be. So take control of your energy, fight that good fight, because it is worth it, and you are learning to harness the most powerful energy that you possess as a man. So that is today's Sunday sermon. Glad that I could share that with you guys. I'm grateful that I have this platform that I can share these immaculate ideas with you guys. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this. If you guys have any ideas, what are you guys going through? Today is the new moon. I saw today was a double new moon, meaning that we have 2 new moons in December, which is fairly rare. So we got a lot of build up in this to end the year off. So I hope you guys have been chasing after your goals relentlessly and, find breaks and find pauses in there. And if you got anything from this video, you know what to do. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out my merch, check out my music, follow me on Instagram. And like I always say, guys, until next time, remember, a greater perspective leads to a greater connection. Peace.
Nobody's here.